Something is dying between men and women, and no one wants to admit it. It's subtle, but it's everywhere. A strange, heavy tension hangs between strangers in public spaces. Men see women, women see men, but there's no spark, no approach, no movement toward connection. Just fear, silence, distance, and a kind of emotional coldness that didn't exist a decade ago. The ancient dance of human attraction, the chase, the curiosity, the flirtation, has been replaced by avoidance. Not because people want to avoid each other, but because everyone feels watched. Everyone feels judged. Everyone feels one wrong step away from humiliation. It's almost tragic, because beneath all of this silence, women still desire to be approached. They still want to feel feminine, chosen, seen, admired. And men still want to be bold, to take risks, to initiate, to feel that masculine spark of pursuit. Yet society has placed so many invisible barriers between them that even a simple hello feels dangerous. A man walking toward a woman today feels like a soldier walking across a field full of landmines. Every movement must be calculated. Every expression monitored. Even his body language can be misinterpreted. He's not approaching a woman, he's approaching potential judgment. And this is the darkest part. Most men today are not afraid of rejection. They're afraid of being misunderstood. They're afraid of being mocked. They're afraid of becoming the villain in someone else's story. This is a society where a woman's discomfort instantly outweighs a man's intention, where a man's desire is assumed to be predatory until proven innocent. The female psyche today has been shaped by warnings, caution, trauma awareness, stories of danger, and this shapes how she reacts to men. The male psyche has adapted in response by retreating. The result is a complete collapse of the approach dynamic. And now we enter the deeper layers. Part 1. The fear of misinterpretation. Modern men do not fear no. They fear what no can turn into and how fast it can escalate. In the past, rejection was simple. A woman could say she wasn't interested and the man walked away. No drama, no moral contamination, no risk. But today, the male mind has been conditioned to think, what if she thinks I'm harassing her? What if she feels uncomfortable and tells other people? What if she misreads my kindness as manipulation? What if someone films this and posts it online? What if my reputation is ruined because I tried talking to someone? This is a kind of psychological prison. Men feel they must constantly disinfect their intentions, hide their interest, shrink their masculine energy, dull their boldness, mute their personality, because anything too expressive can trigger suspicion. This isn't paranoia, it's the logical result of the cultural messaging men have absorbed for years. Women are told to protect themselves. Men are told they're potential threats. And here is the psychological twist. Women don't consciously see men as dangerous, but their body language often reacts as if they are. A man sees the flinch. He sees the subtle discomfort. He hears the guarded tone. He notices the crossed arms. He absorbs that moment like a wound. He walks away thinking, I shouldn't try that again. The psyche learns through pain. After enough micro-pain, a man stops approaching altogether. Carl Jung explained that when a natural instinct is shamed long enough, it goes underground. The masculine instinct of pursuit has now gone underground. Not gone, but hidden, suppressed, suffocated. Part 2. Social media illusion and the collapse of real-world interaction. Women live in an environment of constant male attention, digitally. Men live in an environment of constant invisibility, digitally. This creates a brutal psychological mismatch. A normal woman receives more compliments in 1 month on social media than her grandmother received in her entire youth. Constant DMs, likes, male validation from across the world, high-value men shooting their shot, attractive strangers boosting her ego, even if she is average. Her online attention is extraordinary compared to any era in history. This creates a subtle illusion. I must be highly desirable. Better men are always available. I don't need someone from my real environment. Meanwhile, the average man receives nothing online. No validation, no DMs, no signals, nothing. The contrast shapes his mind. She has so many options. Why would she want me? This is where psychology becomes brutal. Men no longer believe they are welcome. Women no longer believe men are rare. This kills approach behavior instantly. Because if a man thinks a woman has a limitless pool of higher value men online, he will not approach her in public and risk humiliation. He withdraws. He stays silent. And women misread this silence as male disinterest when the truth is darker. Men feel outclassed, outcompeted, and outnumbered. Schopenhauer wrote that desire breeds suffering when comparison enters the mind. Social media is pure comparison. It tells women they can always do better and tells men they will never be good enough. This destroys real-world attraction. Part 3. The harshness of modern female judgment. Women don't judge men the way they used to. Female judgment has become sharper, quicker, colder, more influenced by fear, more influenced by social standards, more influenced by status expectations. Before a man says a single word, she has often already decided whether he's acceptable, not because she's shallow, but because she is overloaded with choices, warnings, caution, and instant comparison culture. So she judges fast. And modern men feel this judgment with painful clarity. A man can tell in 1 second when a woman sees him as beneath her. He can tell when she is uncomfortable. He can tell when she is guarded. He can tell when she is indifferent. Women don't realize how loudly they communicate through micro-expressions, but men see it like reading subtitles. This makes men stop trying. Why approach someone who already decided you're not worthy? Why approach someone who stiffens the moment you get closer? Why approach someone who treats every man as a potential threat? And the tragic part is this: women don't consciously mean to do this. They have simply adapted to a world that tells them to protect themselves. But men have adapted too, by becoming invisible, by no longer approaching, by avoiding the risk entirely. And this is why we now live in a world where both genders want connection, but fear keeps them apart. Part 4. The rise of male apathy. Something unexpected is happening in the male psyche. This generation of men is not just afraid of approaching women, they are becoming indifferent. Not numb, not broken, not defeated, but detached, silent, observing from a distance. Because when a man tries again and again and his effort is never received, never reciprocated, never validated, something inside him begins to disconnect from the game itself. He stops investing emotional energy in the unpredictable terrain of modern dating. He stops seeking validation from women who seem endlessly distracted by online attention. He stops basing his self-worth on female approval. And this detachment creates a new kind of man, one who is neither desperate nor reactive, but emotionally absent from the battlefield. He no longer approaches because he no longer feels the reward is worth the risk. He no longer tries to impress because he no longer believes it leads to anything meaningful. He no longer opens himself emotionally because the vulnerability now feels like humiliation waiting to happen. Modern men are tired of mixed signals, tired of being judged before they speak, tired of competing with digital fantasies, tired of walking on eggshells around female discomfort, tired of feeling like predators for showing interest. So they withdraw into apathy. This is not the apathy of weakness. This is the apathy of self-preservation. Nietzsche warned that when a man sees no noble purpose in a pursuit, he retreats into himself and creates a new value system. Men today are doing exactly that. They pour energy into work, fitness, gaming, finance, hobbies, self-development, anything that does not involve the unpredictable volatility of modern female psychology. It's not that they hate women. It's that approaching women has become psychologically expensive, socially risky, and emotionally unrewarding. Female loneliness rises. Male loneliness rises. And yet the distance grows because apathy is quiet. Apathy doesn't argue. Apathy doesn't explain itself. Apathy simply disappears. Men are not fighting women. They are simply walking away from the psychological battlefield women don't even know they created. Part 5. The fear of female power. Another disturbing layer sits beneath the silence. The rise of female power has created its own unintended psychological consequences. Women today have more financial freedom, more social influence, more romantic options, and more independence than at any point in history. But the female psyche hasn't fully adapted to this power, and the male psyche hasn't adapted to women having it. Women expect men to be masculine leaders, yet many women now hold social dominance in subtle ways. They control emotional narratives. They dominate social media attention. They choose which men get validated. They have the power to elevate a man or destroy him socially with a single sentence. And men feel this power imbalance deeply, not in a logical way, but in an instinctual way. Men evolved to pursue women who were receptive, open, and signaling interest. Today, many women signal superiority instead, not intentionally, but through energy, through tone, through posture, through the emotional armor society trained them to wear. A man senses when a woman looks down on him. He senses when she treats him like an interruption. He senses when she views him as suspicious. He senses when she sees herself as above him. And men do not approach women who feel above them. Deep male Psychology requires an emotional opening, something subtle but unmistakable. A softness, a crack in the armor, a sign that approaching is welcome, not dangerous. Without that, the masculine instinct shuts down. And here lies the paradox. Women believe their strength will attract strong men. In reality, their emotional hardness repels men before they ever reach her. The result is fear. Not fear of women themselves, but fear of feminine power wielded without warmth. A woman who is high value but also emotionally open is magnetic. A woman who is high value but emotionally guarded is terrifying to approach. Men want to approach, but they see a psychological fortress instead of a human being. And no man willingly attacks a fortress unless he is desperate or foolish. This fear is silent, hidden, rarely spoken about, but it shapes male behavior every day. Modern women have more power than ever, but that power has unintentionally made men too intimidated to approach them. Part 6. The collapse of social skills. The final layer is perhaps the most tragic. Society has simply stopped teaching men how to interact with women. The old world had rituals, norms, community structure, and clear pathways for connection. Families introduced people. Social circles naturally blended. Community events created opportunities for interaction. Today, isolation has replaced community. Screens have replaced socialization. Algorithms have replaced shared human spaces. Men now grow up consuming digital illusions instead of real-world experience. They learn attraction through TikTok clips instead of real conversations. They learn masculinity through online gurus instead of mentors. They learn emotional expression through memes instead of vulnerable dialogue. And when a man lacks real-world practice, he lacks real-world confidence. Confidence is not built through theory. It is built through experience. But most modern men have no experience. Not because they're weak, but because opportunities simply no longer exist naturally. The average young man spends more time interacting with fictional characters on screens than with real women, and this rewires the brain. Digital stimulation makes real life feel awkward. Digital approval makes real risk feel terrifying. Digital attraction makes real intimacy feel unreachable. So when the moment comes to approach a woman, he freezes. Does he make eye contact? Does he smile? Does he compliment her? Does he stand close? Does he stand far? What if she feels uncomfortable? What if someone is watching? What if he misreads the situation? What if he embarrasses himself? His mind becomes flooded with fear-conditioned thoughts, and the moment passes. Social skills atrophy when they are unused. Courage shrinks when it is not exercised. Initiative dies when it is not rewarded. And this is why modern men don't approach women, not because they can't, not because they don't want to, but because they've spent so long in digital reality that physical reality feels alien. The collapse of social skills is a silent epidemic, one that leaves women unseen, men isolated, and the ancient dance of attraction slowly evaporating from human culture. Part 7. The last door she never expects you to open. Every woman who hurts a man assumes one hidden thing. She believes he will stand there forever, trying to decode her contradictions, trying to win her storms, trying to fix wounds he never created. She counts on his loyalty, his softness, his investment, his longing. She counts on the fact that men usually stay, even when their soul is slowly bleeding. But here is the final twist in dark female psychology. A woman is never transformed by the man who absorbs her chaos. She is transformed by the man who withdraws from it. When a woman hurts you intentionally, repeatedly, or unconsciously, she is watching for one reaction. Will you react emotionally and prove her power? Or will you fall silent and prove your depth? Silence is a mirror. It forces her to face herself. It strips the drama from her hands. It exposes her motives without you saying a single word. She can argue with your anger. She can justify your pain. She can manipulate your confusion. But she cannot fight the absence of your energy. Painful truth. When a woman hurts a man, she expects him to chase the explanation. She expects him to demand closure. She expects him to collapse into emotion, because that gives her control. But when you do the opposite, when you detach with dignity, when you step back from the fire, instead of trying to put it out, something inside her begins to shift. Your absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. The final lesson here is not about punishing her or playing games. It's about remembering yourself. Your energy is not free. Your attention is not cheap. Your love is not a charity project. Dark feminine energy tests the strength of a man's boundaries more than the strength of his heart. Any man can feel deeply. Few men can protect their depth. You want to know the real reason she hurt you? because she sensed you had power, and she needed to see if you would give it away. And now you know, real power is silent. Real attraction is disciplined. Real masculinity is selective. You don't handle a woman who hurts you by becoming cold. You handle her by becoming clear. Clear about what you allow. Clear about what you deserve. Clear about the difference between connection and chaos. In the end, your restraint becomes her revelation. Your boundaries become her mirror. Your distance becomes the teacher she never knew she needed. Some women only learn the value of a man when they lose access to the version of him they once took for granted. Close the door without slamming it. Walk away without explaining it. Heal yourself without announcing it. And the universe will show you who you were meant to meet next. Because the man who protects his soul is always guided toward a woman who would never risk hurting it. If this spoke to a wound you've carried in silence, share this video with someone who needs the reminder. Your journey is just beginning, and there is a deeper truth you must know about female psychology. In the next video, we'll explore why women respect men who walk away first, the power of emotional authority. That one will change how you move forever.